We want to have more energy as an exhausted mom. And there are a lot of things that you can do. Get to bed early, wake up early, drink more water. There are so many suggestions out there on what we as moms can and should be doing. But if you're wanting just a very simple and unique solution, that's what I'm talking about today. And really the key is self-care. And before you turn your nose up or stop listening, just hear me out for a second. We have to take time for ourselves as moms. We need a little bit of time off, a little bit of break, a little bit of recharge to get more energy. We have to actually energize ourselves with something. Whatever that something is going to look different for every one of us, but its common denominator is kid-free time. I really do think it is so important that we're getting a little bit of kid-free time on the daily, on the weekly, and I'm wanting to talk you through that today to hopefully overcome some of the mental blocks that can just very easily creep in. If you are convinced that you don't have the option, there's no time that's going to allow for that. You have too young of children to leave them, or you're a single mom, so that's not an option for you, or you don't have the money to pay a babysitter. There are so many reasons that our brain can come up with to box us in. And so the question I'm going to ask is, what would you do in the situation of a true emergency? If you had to go somewhere and leave your kids with somebody, what would you do? Because that actually happens, right? And I'm just curious what the solution would be at that point. Do you have a neighbor that you would just at least drop the kids off at? Do you have somebody that you would call that would be able to come and sit with your kids? Do you have parents or a sister or a brother or a close friend that lives nearby enough that you would drop your kids off there? You probably have a lot of options. You may not like these options, but they are options nonetheless. And so at some point, we have to get to the point where we want the time away bad enough, or we see the value enough that we're going to be okay with it. We're not going to put our kids in a bad situation. We're not going to make them pay the price for us to get some time off, but we're going to realize they are just fine, and they're probably living their best life at grandma's house right now while you go and do this thing. So I've talked about hobbies lately. That's part of this. You want to do something that really, truly does energize you, actually gives you more than what you had before. A lot of the things we're doing with our free time are probably draining energy. Instagram would be that for me. I don't use it for that reason, but maybe it does fill you up. Who knows? But just be aware of the energy level. That's what we're looking for. We want to have more energy as an exhausted mom. And why are we exhausted? Because we're giving too much. We are doing too much. We are go, 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 serving everyone else, thinking about everyone else, filling our days with too many things perhaps, or we're just never taking a break. I've talked before about the rhythm that we should have in our day that allows us to kind of have some times of exhale throughout our day where we can just kind of recharge a little bit. But the thing I really just want to speak to is that actual time away. So for me, let me just walk you through what this looks like in my life. I am married to a very supportive husband. He works full time, but is definitely home and around and available for me to take one night a week. So one night a week, I am off of bedtime duty. And then we do the same for him. He has one night off where he can go and do whatever, and I handle bedtime by myself. It's fun for the kids, honestly. They enjoy these nights because they're unique, they're different, they get to do different things with whoever's turn it is, and it just really allows each of us to maybe go see a friend, maybe go do whatever we want to do. Or we stay at home, but we can shower early that night, or just relax, or get some work done. I mean, it's whatever we want to do, but it's a mutually beneficial arrangement. The other aspect of my life is that I'm divorced, and I have an ex-husband who wants to be involved in my kid's life. And so He takes the kids on his turns, and I am then kid free on at those windows of time. It's interesting, I really don't talk about being divorced very often, but that has been a huge eye-opening experience for me, to force myself to distance myself a little bit more from my children and kind of have my own life, have my own things, my own interests, more than I would normally. Would I prefer that they're home all the time? Yes. Yes, I would. And that's not the way it's working. And so it's just a very positive aspect to my life if I let it be. So I want that for you in any dose that feels reasonable to you. I want you to have a little bit of time away from your kids to remind yourself that you are a person, not just a mom. You are a woman, not just a mom. You are a wife, not just a mom. Are you doing date nights? That's another really big thing. Be kid free. That can really bring some energy, not only to you in that moment, but to your entire week. What if you had that Friday night? That's my date night with my husband. What if you had that Friday night to look forward to the entire week? That can be huge for us. So if you're wanting more energy, think about time that you can spend away from your kids. And remember, this is not that we are choosing ourselves over our kids. This is not us being selfish. Those are all the mental blocks that you're probably having. Your brain is putting up a fuss right now. And you have to remind yourself, no, I love my children. I know I do. I am serving my children. I know I am. And guess what? I will serve them so much better if I am filled up a little bit more. I want to be energized for my kids. Isn't that true for you? That's true for me. I hate the days that I just feel like garbage and I'm just dragging and I'm doing the bare minimum and I'm not very engaging with them and I'm not very patient with them because that energy just isn't there. And that's okay. But what if we could choose more energy? What if we could choose to energize ourselves by taking a little bit of time for ourselves? And that's all it takes. Take that little bit of time, and all that's required is for you to believe that it's possible for you. Believe that you're worthy of that break. You're worthy of that time. And it can be very life-changing, and I want that for you. I want us to all share in the comments, please. Do you take time for yourself? How do you do that? What does it look like for you? There isn't a one-size-fits-all ever. So even 5 minutes, just take 5 minutes for yourself. Even if you're not going to be totally kid-free, find a way to kind of check out a little bit, get your kids situated, let them know I need a few minutes, and just take that time. Take that time for you, and your kids will see the benefits right away. When we fill up our cup, everyone else will enjoy so much more that we can pour into them. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon.